I don't know how beauty works. My wife gets a new dress, right? And she tries it on to show me. And I look and I say, I love it. You look beautiful. And she asks, what do you like about it? And I say, how it looks, how you look in it, how it looks on you, the it being on you and the me looking at you in it is good. I know. That poor woman. I don't know how beauty works. I know that my wife is beautiful. And I'm not totally inept. I could list specific things about the way she looks that I like, but it's not any one thing alone that makes her beautiful to me. It's the combinations of traits, each supported by all the others combining into one whole person, my wife, who is beautiful. And somewhere in the combining, I get lost and confused, and I know that she is beautiful, but how, why, in what way or ways, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I just know that it does. I just know that she is beautiful. That poor, poor woman. So anyway, there's Esther, right? And she was beautiful, and that's kind of all that she is. In the whole book of the Bible that is named after her, Esther does almost nothing at all except be beautiful. Esther is a beautiful Jewess living in exile after the Babylonian captivity. She is noticed for her beauty and put in the running to replace the queen who displeased Xerxes, king of Persia. She wins a sort of beauty contest by being beautiful, and her prize is to become queen. Her cousin Mordecai, who raised her as his own daughter, is then able to use her position to expose a plot to kill the king, and eventually to save himself and his fellow Jews in exile from a plot by Haman to commit genocide. How does he do it? By telling Esther about the plot, and then she just is beautiful and tells the king about it. And Haman gets literally hoisted on his own petard, and the day is saved. Well, mostly. The edict to kill the Jews off still stands, but the king writes another that gives the Jews the right to defend themselves from violence by means of violence. And it all works out with about 8,000 people dead, and none of them Jews, I guess. And that's why they celebrate Purim. But how did it work? How did just being beautiful accomplish that? How does beauty work? I'm not much of an artist, but when I see a nice sunset, I wish I could paint it. Since I was little, if I find a pretty pebble, I feel strongly that I should keep it. We all have cameras in our pockets all day, every day, so that not a single meal or moment or person that strikes us is beyond our ability to preserve and take with us at least long enough to post to social media and show the world that we found something beautiful. Why? Have you ever heard a satisfying explanation? This is one place where science really limps, I think, where every explanation science offers for this cheapens and robs the beautiful of some aspect of its beauty. Don't get me wrong, I know that science works. I even understand some of how. I just don't think this is a place where it helps. I'm not sure any explanation would help, scientific or not. I think maybe we're not supposed to understand how beauty works, but just to appreciate that it does, that beauty is beautiful, how it looks, the it being beautiful and the us looking at it of it is just good. And that it moves us to do good, right? Like to capture it in a picture to be shared, or to hold it close and keep it safe, or to make art about it, or to say, hey, what can I do for you? Stop the genocide of your people? Of course, let's make it happen. Or to say, honey, that dress Just wow. And if beauty can do that, if it can make people who are not good try to do good just for the sake of the beautiful thing, then it's a perfect imitation of the gospel of Jesus. That by being good, righteous, perfect, what God would call beautiful, Jesus makes people who are not good want to be. And by being our goodness, our righteousness, our perfection for us, so that God looks at us and calls us his beautiful sons and daughters because of Jesus, Jesus makes humanity beautiful and worth doing good to, like sharing with and holding close and keeping safe and making art for and about and serving and complimenting and loving. I don't know how beauty works. I do know how the gospel of Jesus works. I know what God can do with beauty, and by faith in Jesus, I know the beauty of what God can do. I don't know how he can love us so much that he gives us so much of it, though. But I know that it's good that he does, and that I want to do good in response. Whatever I can. Like Esther did, and inspired others to do. You and I are dust and breath, loved by God, bought by Jesus. This podcast is written and produced by me, Ethan Cherney, a pastor at Bethel Lutheran Church in Menasha, Wisconsin, member of the Wisconsin Evangelical Lutheran Synod. Outro music arranged and performed by Mr. Peter Shawy, who is like poplar trees by flowing streams. Keep in touch. Reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook at Dust and Breath Pod, or send an email to dustandbreathpod@gmail.com. Or you could write us a review, recommend a episode to somebody else. That's the only way other people find out about the show. Now go, do what God called you to do, be who God made you to be, see what God can do with dust and breath and faith in Jesus, his Son.